Hey, Joe here with the gun shop, here with my good friend and attorney, Tim Harvey.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
And today we're going to answer your question about marijuana and guns. It's been coming up a lot lately. People always come in the shop, and there's a question on the 4473. If you have the medical marijuana card and all that, if you answer yes to that question, guess what? You can't buy a gun. But I'm going to let our expert here talk about it because I'm not an expert.
Here's the problem. While Florida may have allowed a medical use of marijuana, while Colorado has allowed medical use of marijuana and recreational use of marijuana, and we're pushing to change state laws. City of Sarasota just recently talked about changing to a non-criminal, where it's a civil citation for marijuana possession for a certain amount.
Expensive parking ticket.
Yeah, the problem is the federal government has not legalized marijuana for medical use, for personal recreational use in any form, way, shape, can't use. So when you are carrying your firearm and you have your medical marijuana card, you're violating federal law. Doesn't mean FBI is going to kick down your door and come snatch you out of your house for doing it. But if you use your firearm to defend yourself and you are a regular user of marijuana and they find out that you were using marijuana or in possession of marijuana at the time you lawfully used your gun to defend yourself, you will in fact have violated federal law. And they may prosecute you for that. Same thing when you come to purchase a firearm. On your federal form 4473, your background check form, there is a question that asks whether you're an illegal user of any controlled substance. Doesn't matter whether it's legal in the state of Florida, whether you have your medical marijuana card, doesn't matter. This is about federal law. And if you have your medical marijuana card and you say, no, I'm not an illegal user because I have this card, you have just lied on a federal form.
And that's a felony, right?
That is a felony. And again, they're probably not going to come knock on your door and yank you out of the house and arrest you for lying on that form. But if at some point in time you get arrested, you use your gun for self-defense, even your gun gets stolen, at some point they're going to do a trace on that serial number and find out where that firearm was sold, get a copy of that 4473 form, and they're going to see that it says, no, I'm not, when you had a medical marijuana card issued, and now they've got a reason to come take your guns because you have just lied on a federal form. It is a felony. They can prosecute you. So the short of it is, just because you have a medical marijuana card, just because it's okay in Florida to have that card, and it doesn't affect, Florida doesn't even look at that when they issue concealed weapons licenses, because again, that's a Florida license with a Florida card. But when you buy a firearm, those laws are federal. And when you lie on a federal form, that's a felony. A lot of people get in trouble, not for the crime they're investigated for necessarily, but for lying to federal agents, because lying on federal forms or lying to federal agents, felony, all in and of itself. So having a medical marijuana card doesn't allow you to buy a firearm.
That pretty much sums it up.
Pretty much.
And again, us at the gun shop, are we going to sit there with a lie detector and everything? No. But when you answer that questionnaire, you should answer it on the 4473. You should answer it truthfully. And if you put yes on the medical part, we can't sell you a gun. If you ask us about it and tell us, hey, I have a medical marijuana card I use, guess what? We can't sell you a gun.
If you lie on it, then you're lying on a federal form. The other thing is that the law for the federal system says possession as well. So even if you have lawfully owned a firearm before you got your medical marijuana card, once you have your medical marijuana card, once you're a user of marijuana, then you cannot even possess your firearms.
Here's a good question. Let's say your spouse, or you get the medical marijuana card, you're using it for whatever, and your spouse has guns in the house.
The spouse can have guns in the house. You just can't handle them. Can't have access to them.
Now, does that mean you can't have access to the safe, or if you?
Technically, if you want to nitpick and get down to the core of it, yes, you can't even have the code, the combination or code to the safe.
So be careful what your spouse is doing. But just to there's some arguments online, especially from our dispensary shops down here, that they state, yes, you can have a gun. They're telling their clients they can. They tell the gun shops and the attorneys they don't know what they're talking about. You could still have your concealed weapons license in this state
Absolutely.
because they decriminalized
Sure.
the marijuana. That's fine. We're talking the federal level. You can't possess that gun. And right here on the questionnaire of your 4473, under Section 11, it's question C. Are you the unlawful user or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drugs, or any other controlled substances? Bold highlighted. It says, warning, the use or possession of marijuana remains unlawful under federal law regardless of whether it has been legalized or decriminalized for medical or recreational purposes in the state where you reside. It's can't get any simpler than that, in my opinion.
And sorry, I have to look at the number, but under federal law, 18 U.S.C. 922, subsection G3, it is unlawful or an unlawful user of or addicted to any controlled substance from or is prohibited from shipping, transporting, receiving, or possessing firearms or ammunition. Just having bullets, federal law violation.
Ammunition as well.
Ammunition as well.
How about a knife?
Knife is not covered under that. Knife is not a firearm.
Okay. That's perfect. So, Tim, if they have any questions, they want to hire you for your excellent service, how do they get a hold of you?
They can contact me at www.tharveylaw.com or at my office, 941-552-7884.
And we'll put all the information below this video how to get a hold of Tim. And if you have any more questions of us, put it in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer them. Tim, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
See you later.